All right, let's get this show on the road. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Tony Hannah, aka the Nocturnist, and I'm here with my bro,
Ken Folk, and we are.
Super Had Not Bros, and we are a podcast about nothing because a conversation about nothing is a conversation about any and everything. If
God
you have
damn.
been tuning into this podcast for the last few weeks or so, be sure that y'all, first and foremost, if you're on YouTube and checking this show out, be sure that you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment, and make sure you hit that notification bell to stay up to date on what we got going on over here in the virtual Had Not space.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that being said, what has your week been like, sir?
It's still early or whatever, so ain't been too much going on. Getting ready for this damn turnaround and start tomorrow night. So gotta stay up as long as I can tonight. Try to sleep all day tomorrow. Go my ass to work.
Man, you're gonna be jet lag without even having to be on the jet.
I know, man. That's some shit. But it's been good though, man. I had a dope ass weekend with paddle boating and whatnot.
Paddle boating. I saw that
Yeah.
y'all went to the main event.
Yeah. We went to main. Me and the kids went to main event last night. Um,
Yeah.
I went to I went and did the paddle boating with Miss Sean.
Okay.
And
Paddle boat date
yeah,
night.
man, went out on a little had some brunch and stuff. And can't remember the
Brunch
name.
life.
Yeah, man, went to some place urban something.
Urban Air. Is it like a trampoline park?
No, the brunch place. Like they got the food, they got
Oh,
breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of that good shit. Urban
was it in
foods.
Houston?
Like that. Yeah,
Oh, I ain't never heard of it. I don't know.
yeah. It's a couple of them out there. But we went out there. They had some good food. Pretty dope.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Urban Air, man. I mean, not Urban Air. Main event. Shit, we had a good time, man. The boy in town. So, we got to hang out and do all that good stuff. They put us, we did the picture where they put us in a comic book. So
A
I got
word?
to in the man cave. Yeah, we in the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know what I'm saying? And did the VR stuff, man. Uh, did laser tag, all that good shit. So it was dope as hell.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you had a good weekend.
Yeah,
Of course, as you know, I actually got a chance to go home this
yeah,
weekend, and I got to spend time with my family. I went to go see you, then I went to go see my mom, and I went to go see dad,
yeah.
and then I came back home and enjoyed the rest of the weekend. I can't remember how Sunday went. I don't. What's today? Is today Monday or Tuesday?
Today is Tuesday.
Wow. Okay, so Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday was a blur.
Yeah, Sunday must have been a blur because I honestly don't remember what happened Sunday. I feel like I might have did a photo shoot or something, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
It was all a blur. But it was actually nice just to come home because I hadn't been there in quite some time. So
Mhm.
it was nice. Just
Oh,
to see everybody and spend some time
yeah,
with the family. So
yeah, man, it was cool kicking and shit, man. And uh, happy birthday again to LT, man. He was
yes.
you know,
And Lois. They had the
yeah.
same birthday.
Lois had a birthday too. Happy birthday, Lois.
Hmm.
So it's all good, man. I'm glad everybody's hitting that hitting that extra year. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man. New Year. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, what you want to talk about today?
Oh man, I kind of wanted to talk about that the episode 3 of Bel Air.
All right. So I remember watching it, but I think I'm gonna need you to recap it real quick so we can go ahead and get into it.
So they basically the teacher, which was played by the original Ashley, got fired,
Right.
and he was teaching too much black stuff about positive black stuff to the kids that wasn't part of the curriculum. So they wanted to get our ass up out of there, and Will and Carlton were gonna do the protest. They was doing a blackout because Carlton was digging old girls, so they did everything to impress her. But he was still wanting to fight for the cause.
Right. He was down for the cause. Right.
Yeah, but then in the episode they end up having complications. They had to go and talk to the board, and they was like, okay, y'all can do the walkout, but y'all can't, have signs or give a speech or anything like that.
They
But
wanted them to protest in silence.
right, but in
Yeah.
return, they would have got some of the things that they actually wanted.
Right,
But
right,
for
right.
some reason, that wasn't good enough for everybody. So Will was like, "Nah, fuck that. We doing it as how we gonna do it. We gotta cause a riot type shit, and that's how we gonna make change." And eventually, everybody started looking at Carlton like, "Okay, you supposed to be the man. Make this shit happen." And he panicked, and he had a real
Yeah.
bad panic attack, and I honestly, Will didn't give a fuck that he was having a panic attack, and he just was
Right.
like, "I'm gonna do it anyway." And when they took one of the banners that they had, and he went put it at the top of the building,
Right.
and had the free such and such on his hands like that Mason sign. All right, go.
Right. Okay.
And
Okay.
but he basically didn't give a shit that Carlton was really fucked up about the whole situation, of the pressure he was under, because that one teacher was like, "Hey, if you want to win this award, this scholarship or whatever, to go to a prestige college, he'll be the first black student to ever win it, from that school, or I guess the first ever."
Right.
And so she was like, "Don't do the walkout, don't protest." But
Right.
he had to do what he had to do to impress our girl and for the students. So it kind of put him in a bind, and Will really just didn't give a shit how that nigga felt about it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I do remember all of that. It almost felt like there was a lot of politics, backdoor politics involved
Right.
as far as a protest goes. Because like you said, the teacher was basically, but she wasn't only doing it to try to protect Carlton. She was actually trying to do it to protect herself too, because she was
Yeah.
supposed to like on some sort of board,
She
or
was
just
gonna
got
get
like
a
a
she was gonna get
new
a
position.
position. She was gonna get a position there.
Right. So in order for, I guess she must have been like the voice of the black teachers or whatever.
Yeah, because she was the
But in
only
order,
teacher. She was the only teacher in the student meeting.
right. So in order for her to keep her place, she was like, okay, well, this is gonna be bad reflecting on me if y'all go out with this loudly.
Right. Right.
So I guess as the viewer, you could kind of see it both ways, because it's like, all right, well, she's trying to save her own skin, and she is somewhat looking out for Carlton in the midst of doing that, but at the same time, like, asking for those kids to protest silently, will it really solve the problem? And I think that was
Right.
the bind Carlton was in, because
Yeah,
it
and
was
it
kind
put
of
him
like,
in the bind. But my thing about the whole episode is just how everybody put the pressure on Carlton, knowing that he really wasn't about that anyway. And
yeah,
if y'all was upset about something, y'all can come together as a group. It shouldn't be him just the only one taking the brunt of everything. So
right,
even like Lisa was like, y'all know, Carlton is really not, you know, fit for this, and his anxiety is gonna kick in. And even when that happened, and they took the banner from the students, she still looked at him and was like, "Carlton, what you gonna do?" And I'm like, "You adding pressure to it."
yeah. It should have been if you feel like it should have been more of a collective effort in terms of
Right,
how
instead of
everything
just
was
pushing it
handled.
all on him, knowing he
And
has this issue.
yeah, right. No, I get that, and I'm glad you brought that up. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, that was something I think we didn't touch on like the very first episode
Mm-hmm.
of season 2 with Carlton. Is that um we're gonna see Carlton. I don't know what's fixing to happen with Carlton, but something's
Right.
fixing to go on with Carlton, because apparently, like you said, he has the anxiety, he's on medications and this, that, and the other. And I remember Uncle Phil and Viv having a conversation with his doctor, basically saying like, well, Carlton wants to be weaned off his meds. And the doctor was like, okay, but just know
It's gonna
that
get real.
this, and this is going to happen. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen as he gets off his meds. If he gets off his meds, because like you said, he just had like a crazy ass panic attack on this. So is he going to go back to his meds, or is he going to start doing that other shit?
I think he's gonna start doing that other shit.
I
Because
think so
he
too.
didn't like the meds at all. So I mean,
Right.
and then he's angry now too, because he feel like nobody gave a fuck. He had a whole breakdown, man. And now
Right.
even though he was the one that pushed the issue and whatnot, now Ashley is gonna be like, "Oh, Will saved the day," and now he got that shit going all over again because he couldn't handle the pressure. So Will is gonna be the savior, and he's gonna be pretty pissed behind that. I'm pretty sure.
Right. I say it sounds like it's gonna spark that controversy, that tension between.
Oh yeah, they're gonna start beefing again.
Yeah, but how long is it gonna last? I mean, because really and truly, they beef all the time. They did it in the old show. I mean, I know it's not the old show, but
right,
you kind of saw that in season 1 where Carlton was a total dick, but there were times where he would come around, and then him and Will would kind of. It was almost like Daniel and Johnny from Cobra Kai. Like 1 minute,
oh yeah,
like they beef for real hard, and they have a real like fragile alliance, and then like one little thing go wrong, and then they just going at it again.
Yeah,
it almost seems like that's how
10 beers we just had with each other and had dinner. And
right.
Yeah, we fighting again.
Right. It just seems like they have a very turbulent relationship.
What I liked about they shit on Cobra Kai is they was ready to throw hands every time. Every time. As soon as somebody got mad, they got in position like, like
it was like it was a standoff in any given moment.
Yeah,
like, all right, we about to. Yeah. I don't care if it's the fancy restaurant. I don't care if it's the hotel. I don't care if it's at my job. Like we
it's
about to do
this at all times. We ain't got time to go outside. We don't have time for none of that shit. It's going down right now.
But I mean, the thing about Cobra, I guess what makes it so funny about Cobra Kai is that everybody in the show knows martial arts. Yeah. So it was like if you got into a fight in public and an innocent bystander got hit, he about to jump in the fight too.
Yeah, and they had moves too.
Yeah, it was like they was doing some crazy shit. I'm like, God damn, like what is this fucking Street Fighter like in real life or some shit?
God
everybody
right,
fucking
man.
Dragon Ball Z or some shit. Yeah, everybody getting with it. But back to the show. Yeah, you do see that. I think there is going to be tension between Will and Carlton now that that they got loud with the protest, and Will had the balls to go ahead and make a bold move, and now all the focus is on him because Carlton just couldn't have the heart to. Well, not so much he didn't have the heart, but the pressure was so intense that he just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
right. So yeah,
you got Hillary, who's still not understanding the dynamics of her relationship with that other chick or whatever. I can't remember her name.
Ivy,
the one that's like, yeah, Ivy or whatever. She kept trying to just speak for her about business moves that she wanted to make, and then whenever she tried to, the chick was working, and she was like, "Can you give me 5 minutes?" It's like, bitch, make an appointment. I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So you get it together. And but she tried to speak for her, and the old girl Ivy was like, I'm not going against I'm not supporting the competition. So she didn't even do her research and was like, what she needed to do, but she not understanding the dynamic that you didn't have a goddamn dime to put into this partnership that you want to call it. It's old girl money. That she got to say so on all that shit. So yeah, she's still not understanding her dynamics and whatnot. So
what it sounded like is Hillary. What it sounded like is Hillary didn't sign a contract.
She didn't. She just was like, "Hey, would you buy me out of this contract and buy this house?" Well, she was like, "Buy the house so we can get out of this contract." Oh, girl was like, "All right, cool. I'll buy you a little house." You know what I'm saying? She had the money like that. I'll buy you a little house or whatever. But she was like, Hillary wanted to do it how she wanted it done. It's like, nah, bitch, I'll pay for this. I want my drink or whatever the fuck it is. Well, she said water or champagne or some shit. She was like, that shit's gonna be in the fucking house. We gonna advertise this shit.
Yeah.
And so she's not understanding the dynamics.
But now, and we mentioned it earlier, but like now I kind of want to know what's going on between Jeffrey and Uncle Phil, seeing that Jeffrey's back in the house. Yeah. Now it seems like Jeffrey is up to some shady shit. Oh, I don't want to say it's shady, but for whatever reason, he was snooping around in Uncle Phil's office when he wasn't in there, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, what is he looking for? Now I know that he has a son,
right?
Okay, he has a son, and he's having a hard time seeing him or something like that. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with whatever.
Somewhere that what they made it sound like they made an agreement that he probably will never see his son again, but he did it for a reason. Right. And now that Will is going through his stuff, it's making him think about his son. So he trying to get in touch with him. But whatever it was, Uncle Phil was already up on game because he changed that man. He had no access to shit like how he used to. And as soon as he walked out of the office, Uncle Phil looked at the laptop.
He was looking. I saw
papers, looked in the drawers, and he was like, oh, "Okay." But he had his face like, "I know this nigga touched something."
Okay, but here's the other thing, though. if it's a situation to where Jeffrey's, I guess, quote unquote, not allowed to see his son or whatever, why is that? And if really and truly, if that's the case, and if it has something to do with the dynamic between him and Uncle Phil, what the fuck did Uncle Phil do? Like, what happened for that agreement? You know what I'm saying? For those type of stipulations.
I don't know, but I could tell, like, whatever Uncle Phil did back in the day, you know, Jeffrey working around, everybody's scared of Jeffrey. Everybody, It don't matter what's going on, except for Uncle Phil. And Uncle Phil kind of seemed like he got more power over Jeffrey. Like, he's almost afraid.
I'm about to say, I almost want to say, but I also think that Uncle Phil, there's gonna be more to him in this as the show goes. He ain't the clean cut Uncle Phil that we think he is.
Nah, man. They moved too different, bro. They ain't nothing.
They move different, right?
Yeah.
They own some like mafia, organized crime type shit. Like,
yeah, Uncle Phil out there calling his, bro, and Jeffrey like already on it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see how his character unfolds as the show goes on. Hopefully we'll get more insight on that, especially now, seeing that he's no longer in politics, he's back into the lawyer's office, so now he can kind of keep his feet to the ground and see what's really going on.
The public eye ain't on him as much.
Right, so now he can move around like you really want to on some shady shit. So I do feel like there's more to be seen with Uncle Phil, more to be unveiled with Uncle Phil, and I think we may see some more of it in season 2. What is going on, Crystal? Thank you for stopping in. That's our number one right there. But yeah, man, Uncle Phil definitely seemed like he on some shady shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I think they fit to unlock some shit with this dude that's supposed to be the scouter, the scout for Will.
Yeah.
What's up, Marshilla? How you doing? And
hey, what's going on, Marshilla?
Yeah, I feel like he got something to do with old boy that Jeffrey and them took out. You know what I'm saying? I think he connected with that shit. And
oh boy, you talking about old boy in Philly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe so, because old dude did connect Will to the Banks family in episode 1. So
yeah, and he never popped back up. You know what I'm saying? And then they showed the whole thing. He was like, it's much we need to figure out about your boy, because he had the picture with him from Philly and the picture with him in LA. So
right. Well, there's definitely more to be seen, and I can't wait to see what we got coming. So when is next episode? Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay, so Thursday we'll have to see what's going on in episode 4.
It'll be week 4.
Week 4. Okay, bet. Well, definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcella. Go ahead and start watching that, man. It's a little different from the first season, but it's getting a little juicier now. So
yes, it's definitely starting to. It's not relying so much on references from the old show. It's kind of starting to carve its own path in its own direction. So definitely check that out. So you seen Chris Rock?
Yeah, I saw it.
What you think about it?
I thought it was good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he said whatever he said from the chest. He said it like a man. And he did it live, which I didn't even realize that shit until like the next couple of days when I watched reviews on it. The first time somebody did a live set on Netflix. So that was pretty cool. But
Extreme Live.
He meant everything he fucking said. I know that.
I ain't gonna lie. I was a part of the herd when I found out that the stand-up was coming on. I was like, okay, well, I know what this is about. Like everybody else, we all knew it. So like I'm watching it because he really didn't go in until like the last maybe like 20 minutes.
Right.
So I'm sitting here watching like talk about it.
So you was waiting the whole time just to hear that one section.
I was just yes and no.
Yeah,
I knew there was gonna be
right.
I knew there was more to it, clearly.
Yeah.
Like I knew there was gonna be more to it. I just thought it was gonna come straight out the gate. But I'm glad that he did do it the way that he did it because it was like he gave people what they wanted to hear, but he did it. It was like it was the build up for it, man. That just made it so dope. Because when he did it, it was like he went all the way in, and
he didn't pull back nothing.
And I kind of got mad at people because people was like, "Oh, well, why did Chris Rock wait an entire year to talk about Will Smith?" And I'm like, he's a fucking comedian. Do y'all not realize that fucking slap was that was gold to him? That was material. Yeah. That was material. Of course, he's not gonna say nothing about it. So
he had to work the act out and everything.
Yeah. So he had to get out. He had to get it off his chest. He got it off his chest, and now I think he's at a point where he can move past it because he said what the hell he needs to say.
Yeah.
I do remember watching some video. I was reading an article or something where they were talking about, Will Smith's response to it. And so Will Smith was basically saying that his family
and shit.
Yeah, he was saying, "Oh, my family's hurt, and I can't believe Netflix, supported something like this, and so on and so forth." And I'm like, yeah, you smacked the fuck out of him a year ago. How the hell you think he feel? How you think his family feels? So on and so forth.
You know what I'm saying?
So the way I look at it is the way Chris Rock handled it, because again, and Chris Rock said it, I'm not fixing to come up here and play victim. I'm fixing to just tell y'all what I thought. I'm gonna tell you my opinion and all this other shit, and this is just what it is. So the way I look at it is Chris Rock's response makes the whole situation even. I feel like everybody can move past it now. I feel like that's what Chris Rock is. Well, no, it's still gonna be talked about. I mean, the special was a thing in itself. So
yeah, because now you got people who trying to say that Chris Rock was wrong because he called Jada a bitch a couple of times and whatnot.
And yet Will Smith walked up to him and physically smacked him. Across the face in front of the entire world.
You can't say nothing about a black woman right now and shit like that. So they like, you don't do that to no black women and this, that. Yeah. So they want to cancel him now for it. But you can't tell people how to feel and react to something that happened to them or whatever.
No, you can't. Will Smith reacted the way he reacted, so Chris Rock waited an entire year and reacted the way he needed to react.
Yeah.
And by the way, Marshila, I actually just watched the Marlon Wayans one today.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard.
It was good. Okay. And I have to be honest, like Marlon Wayans is, to me, his stand-up is not that great.
Right.
And even in this special, it wasn't so much that I laughed a lot, but I did. I'm not gonna spoil it, Crystal, but I did enjoy the message that came with it. And that's what was beautiful about the stand-up, was that he had a really, really, really great message. And it was basically to the extent of like, Black comedians, despite whatever's going on with these guys, I'm younger than them. These guys are my influences. I'm cool with all of them. I learned a lot from them, and that's just how it is. So he did really do it. It was really good. And if anybody, if you check it out, what is it on HBO or is it on Netflix? Marshila, what is it on HBO or Netflix?
I'm at the.
I think it's on. I want to say it's on HBO, but yes, if you have not seen God Loves Me by Marlon Wayans, definitely go check that out because it really was good. And I like how at first I was kind of like, nah, he riding on the coattails of the slap, but he really wasn't. It was a really good message behind it. So
I'm gonna have to check it out. Marshila, send me your login. I don't have HBO.
You got get on the HBO. Hey, I think if Crystal and Marshila, if any of y'all or anybody watching, if you have AT&T, I think you can actually get HBO Max free.
Are you doing an ad, nigga?
No, but I mean, HBO. If you listening, go ahead and give me that discount link.
You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and make that
superhead.bros discount.
Shit, straight up.
But nah, it was good. So if you have HBO Max, go check out Marlon Wayans' God Love Me, because that shit was fucking hilarious.
Well, I mean,
and it was good.
At the end of the day, though, I still thought he did a good job. I mean, you could tell it was live after he fumbled a couple of times and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he was able to pick it back. I mean, shit, he been doing this for 40 years. So
he Chris Rock, he gonna do it. He gonna do it. He got it.
Yeah.
So, but overall, like you said, man, I really enjoyed the way that he handled the conversation. And I'm happy that it's to a point to where at least these people, Chris Rock and Will Smith and whoever else was involved directly in this whole situation, hopefully they can move past it and Will Smith doesn't have to play. I'm hoping that he's not going to play victim.
This was like the first time. If this was what everybody's waiting on, Chris Rock didn't say too much or nothing about this shit.
No.
So, I mean,
and that's the thing.
He wasn't the one to keep bringing it up. It was everybody else.
And but that was my thing about Will Smith. It just seemed like throughout this entire year, when Will Smith, after it happened, right? Like Will Smith was just constantly, he was putting these apologies on social media.
When he did his apology tour before he did Emancipation.
Right. And then he did the movie, and he was doing all, he was basically just very much in a public eye, trying to,
he was doing PR shit though.
Yeah, trying to talk about like how he was wrong in this. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it just feels
it wasn't
like
sincere, bro. It was PR.
My point. That's my point. I felt like it was this thing about the image, right? Like Will Smith, we all know that he's supposedly the clean cut, like nice guy or whatever. So to see him do some shit like that was just kind of appalling. So he felt bad about it. So in order to like kind of bounce back from it, he felt like he needed to do all these different things to kind of redeem himself publicly.
Yeah, but just because you apologize don't mean I gotta accept that shit. You smack me in front of millions of people, bro. Like if I told you, okay, hey, bro, my bad. Earlier today, I went outside and I stabbed your dog in the neck. He did. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's it. You good? We good? All right, cool.
Yeah, that's not enough. But I mean, again, man, I feel like in this particular situation, I don't think Chris Rock was necessarily holding malice. I don't think he had any ill intent. He did it strategically. It was a very strategic move on his part to just be quiet about it, write this comedy hour.
And he got $40 million out of that slap.
Yeah, I don't think that he's unwilling to. I don't think he doesn't want to accept his apology. I think he does want to accept his apology. I think he does. Like I said, it's just he just needed to get his shit out.
He needed his get back. That was it.
Yeah, he just needed to get his shit out. Like I said, now they can kind of go for it. But I ain't gonna lie, that joke he said about emancipation, watching him get his ass beat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious. So for all those people who said that Chris Rock was wrong for waiting a whole year to talk about it now, shut the fuck up. Like, really, seriously, shut the hell up forever, because he deserved to have they're even. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and then supposedly the little weird ass boy, Jaden, said something about it and shit. And it's like, man, if you don't sit your weird ass down, man, you ain't got nothing to do with this shit, boy.
Well, speaking of that, so I was watching this video on YouTube earlier. I don't know if you follow the page Comedy Hype.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they did, I guess some more must have just did a stand-up recently.
Yes.
And she was talking about Dwayne Wade's kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had the panelists up there, some people talking about it, and they likened it to another situation to where this guy was in a convenience store and the clerk was saying, hey, sir.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, no, I'm a ma'am. You call me ma'am. He just like started going like way the fuck off, like basically making the guy. Yeah, making the guy feel like shit because he called him sir. And so there was an argument, not so much an argument, but a bit of a debate on the show because there was this comedian he was a gay dude. His name was
Yeah,
Samson.
I saw the clip.
Okay, well, Samson was basically saying like, I can't be mad at the clerk or at Samore or anybody in that case because they called the man a man, especially the situation with the guy in the store.
Because this clearly looks like a man.
It looked like a man.
There was no
facial hair, strong jaw.
This nigga weak as
more
fuck.
muscle, like big ass dude. So the argument basically was that Samson was basically saying, well, if you don't know, you don't know. Everybody doesn't live in the transgender world. Everybody doesn't live in the LGBT community. So, the world is still trying to figure out how all this shit operates. So when it comes to like gender identification, basically what it's saying is if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, guess what? I'm going to call it a duck. Now, the proper way to do it could have handled it was, hey, I prefer to be called whatever. And just go on about your business. But it was just crazy because there was another guy on the show. Remember the other little light-skinned dude? He was over there trying to make sense of what the dude was saying. And I'm like, Samson was saying it as clear as day. If I see a man in a store that looks like a man, I'm gonna assume that it's a fucking man. Plain and simple.
Simple as everybody would do the same thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop this person. I'm like, excuse me, what should I say, ma'am, sir? What do you like to call? Excuse me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Marshila said it's confusing as hell. I call it the alphabet community, and I'm part of it, and I'm lost.
Most of them.
But yeah, it's true. At this point, I just feel like now it's just really. To me, some of that stuff is just a bit of an attention grab.
Well, you know what?
I guess to try to keep the conversation going.
Since they want to be that aggressive about it or whatever, because that dude was hella aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you just accidentally call them the wrong thing, they ready to square up. So since they have the right to do that, every motherfucker that ever called me Mexican in my life or whatever, we got a beef.
Right.
We got beef from black, goddammit. But I don't never trip on nobody about that shit. I just laugh it off. But you know what I'm saying? I've been Mexican a whole bunch of times, if that's the case.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess I just feel like it's like that particular situation, I just feel like it's unnecessary outrage.
Yeah.
Like it's completely unnecessary because you can't assume that this pronoun shit is like Marshila said, it's mad confusing. You know
how many pronouns they said they have?
What?
It's like 1,000.
I'm how?
What?
I mean, I guess, but yeah, it's just like how do you expect, I guess, gay, straight, whatever, right? How do you expect somebody who's not necessarily, I guess mainly with the gender identification thing, people who don't truly understand it, how do you expect everybody to do it?
But boy said it. He said if you want them to call you that, try your best to try to look as much as possible to where it won't be so confusing.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but I'm not fixing to sit there and like try to figure that it like 100% figure you the hell out.
True, but I mean, what I'm saying is, if you accidentally bump
that's cringy,
and you see they got long hair and shit like that, when what you would call women's clothing and shit, and you'd be like, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am," and they turn around and they be like, and they got a whole mustache. Then you just like, okay, I don't know what the fuck going on. But for the most part, you thought it was a chick because that shit happened over here a few times or whatever.
Yeah.
One of my partners, he gay as shit, and he had another gay dude with him, and that dude dresses up as a chick, but he still calls himself a man. I'm confused about that shit too, but at least he's like, I'm not a woman. But he was sitting down, and MJ walked past him, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And then he turned around. I was like, "Hey, that's a dude." He was like, "Oh, what's up, my nigga?" And then just kept going. I mean, it was that simple. You know what I'm saying? It's confusing, but come on, man, make it easy on everybody. You ain't got to go crazy and pull your heels off and want to stab a nigga in the eye.
Yeah, I just feel like there's you can correct. there's a way to correct people in these situations without having to do all of the extra. Crystal said, I just say them because I don't want to be wrong. I
Yeah, they
agree.
get mad at you for saying that shit. They be like, no, they gonna be like, no, I'm this. So it's whatever.
It's tough because you don't it's like shit, it's like walking in the fucking the landmines. I deal with it like all the time, man. I do school photography, and I mean this stuff is even in the kids. Like there's been a couple times where like, okay, right now we're doing spring pictures. So like boys are supposed to put the fist on the knee, hand on the wrist, girls are supposed to cross their legs and stand like this. But if there's been sometimes where there's been little boys
That want to cross their
whatever.
legs.
No, I'll tell them to cross their legs, stuff like that, because they look like little girls. And then I look at the name on the tag and I'd be like, oh, but I don't know what to do. So I just move, I just kind of make the assumption and just
I'd be like, you know what? Just do what the fuck you want to do. You're doing it anyway. Like,
real talk, I do. Sometimes I just kind of
you already doing what the fuck you want to do.
But
I blame the parents, man. The parents ain't shit for that.
I mean, but outside of that, I guess the question, I guess the conversation really just kind of leads into like, you know, hey, if I don't know if anybody's in the gender identification community who's watching the video right now. I ain't talking about gay, lesbian. I'm talking about people who trying to figure out what people who identify as whatever. We need to know how this shit goes so we can avoid all this shit. But and that was the other thing Samson. That was the thing Samson was saying. He was basically saying that you know, in order for us to move past this, we have to be able to have these uncomfortable conversations in order to move forward, which I feel like that's in any situation. That's race, gender, class, whatever, right? But you know, old boy was basically saying like, well, you know, you still got to be respectful to these people, so on and so forth. He's like, well, how can we be it if we don't understand how the community works?
Right.
You know, so
I just want people to be so just honest with everything, whatever. Stop lying to your kids and tell them they can be whatever the fuck they want to be. My daughter wanted to be a vampire. I nipped that shit in the bud early. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna be a vampire. Like, stop it. Am I no? So now I'm a bad parent. I ain't shit because I ain't let her be a vampire.
Yeah.
Can you imagine my daughter at school just going around biting the fuck out of people, and I'd be like, "Hey, that's her truth. Y'all can't suspend her for that shit."
Yeah, nah, that shit.
No fucking sense.
That shit wouldn't fly at all. That shit wouldn't fly.
And for anybody who may be watching thinking that, oh, he just going to the extreme, my daughter actually wanted to be a fucking vampire. Y'all gotta understand that shit. She slept with her eyes open, like she slept on the top of the couch, like she was in a coffin. She tried all kind of shit, but she really wanted to be a vampire. And we had to.
Let me make a hard guess, because I know which one it was. It was the older
exactly.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like her. Yeah, that definitely sounds like her. But I don't know, man. It's a
Marcella, you cannot be a vampire. And I'm telling you that.
What? Okay, so hold on, Marcella. Seriously, what made you want to be a vampire? You know what? I asked this question seriously because there are communities out there of people who really be on that shit. Like they go out here and be like drinking blood, doing these rituals and shit.
Right. I don't want my daughter getting AIDS from drinking somebody's blood. Let's stop this.
So now that's so. Oh, it was the TV shows like True Blood and shit like that.
In Twilight and shit.
If Twilight made you want to be a vampire, we can't be cool. Because Twilight, them ain't no fucking vampires. They
the worst vampires of any movie I ever seen.
They just fucking what you call that shit? The girls be putting on their shoes and shit. They just bedazzle people who scared of the sun.
Yeah, that's it, man. They glisten in the sun. They're like, that was it. That was weird as shit. They were pale.
There's some damn bedazzled ass people that fought wolves. That shit was whack.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. If this shit was real, I'd rather be a vampire than a werewolf because I wouldn't want to make the transformation every time that shit looked painful. I don't want to have to do that. Got to buy new clothes all the time. I got to have a damn good job to be a werewolf. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't have time for that shit. And vampires or whatever, you know, they in most movies, they are way cooler than everybody else. They real chill or whatever. They be around for a long time. If they want a life partner, all they got to do is take their blood and you're good. So it's good. It was whatever.
And vampires get to smash a lot too. Vampires always seduce us.
They always smashing.
Ain't
I
nobody
don't want to
smashing
smash
a werewolf.
a chicken turn into a werewolf, bro. Like
ain't nobody smashing a werewolf. Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't ignore it. We just kind of got carried on the conversation. No, I don't fuck up school pictures. I've been a professional photographer for almost 10 years now.
Yeah,
We
get it
good.
right.
We good over here. We get it good over here. Um, but yeah, vampires stay smashing, man. So
Yeah,
I
man,
mean,
smash
ain't
things.
nobody fucking with a werewolf. That's just too much too much cleanup you got to deal with the next day and all that. That's just
I
gross.
feel like if, like, they like vampires, they be in this big mansion having these parties, and they be fucking everywhere and all that good shit. They should just be like big orgies, but just a lot of just a lot of sharp teeth. I feel like if werewolves did it, they'd be like in a goddamn cave somewhere, and there'd be a lot of shit everywhere. I feel like they just walk around and shit while they fucking and shit. I don't know. I just feel like it's too nasty as a mess.
It'd be humid and
Yeah, you know what I'm
gross.
saying? Like, Jesus, that's too
Yeah.
much. Yeah, so I'm good
I
on that.
mean, really and truly, the only weird thing vampires kind of do is drink blood and,
That's
don't
it.
go out during the day. But I mean, technically, a hermit does that. So, I mean, well, they don't drink blood, but they, stay indoors all day. So, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I guess if I had the choice, I'd definitely be a vampire. I'll tell you, what's the most ineffective monster ever? Two, most ineffective monsters ever:
Okay.
skeletons and ghosts.
It depends on what type of ghost. Skeletons, they really, yeah, you're just a skeleton, bro. Like, I could just remove something, and that's a wrap.
I never understood why people were scared of like animated skeletons in movies. Like when a skeleton is chasing after you, like all you gotta do is fucking throw a fucking baseball at his rib cage or something like that and make it fall apart. Or
They
take a
can't
bat
do
to
too
his
much.
knee.
Which, I mean, if don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure if one of them punched the shit out of you, you'd feel it. If you're going straight bone, oh, you stay splitting something open.
Yeah, but he ain't got no muscles to move that shit.
True enough, but it's hard as hell. But you just take something off. That's all I'm saying. And just take some bone.
That's
Just
what I'm
take it off.
saying. All you gotta do is take a baseball bat to his knee real good, and you'll knock his leg smooth off. So that
Yeah,
skeleton ain't
yeah,
doing shit to you. Now,
right.
ghosts, on the
But
other hand, I mean, I know
they
there's
have
different kinds
some.
of ghosts.
Yeah, they have some that they can move shit. They can actually they can touch you. Those are the ones you don't want to fuck with because you can't touch them. They'll beat your ass.
Yeah, maybe. I'm talking about the ones that like talk shit to you and be like, "Get out this house."
Oh,
Like,
like if the house wanted me to get out,
yeah,
we got a ghost in the house now, man. So I ain't tripping.
yeah. I be feeling like that sometimes over here too. But
I had
like,
a
I'm talking
ceiling
about like
fan
also,
just fall out of at 4 a.m. and hit the glass table. I just touched that
and it
fan.
and it wasn't loose or nothing.
Nah, man.
Yeah. No, I you know what? I believe that kind of shit exists. I feel like there's one that always follows us
You wish
everywhere
the
we
ghost
go.
would.
Right? No, see, Crystal, that's the thing. I don't talk to him. So this is how I look at it, because I believe in spirits and all that shit, right? Like I believe all this shit is around. Like we just can't see it. I just feel like they only fuck with you if you fuck with them. So all these like voodoo, like crystal ball readers, the what
Yeah,
psychics, all
yeah, you froze. Yeah, I got you though. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
so damn, what happened to my thing?
Are you back?
Did I freeze up?
Yeah, you back.
Oh, okay, my bad. Where did I leave off at?
Right at the beginning.
Like the beginning
The
of what was
crystal
I saying?
balls and shit. We was talking about the
Okay.
crystal balls.
Yeah. So everybody, all these people that do shit like that, I feel like they always the ones that fuck around and get hurt because they be like fucking with these people. They be fucking with the people.
Right.
I feel like, okay, if I gotta cohabitate with a ghost, I'm gonna let them do their thing and I'm gonna do
Yeah.
mine. And that's just that we can all live
Yeah.
peacefully.
Don't
You
eat
know what I'm
don't
saying?
eat my food. Don't drink my drinks. You know what I'm saying? Don't steal one shoe and hide it somewhere. Like just do what you need to do, bro.
So have you ever felt the presence of a ghost?
Man, sometimes I may have, but it's just sometimes it's just, it's in the mind sometimes or whatever, watching some shit and all of a sudden a little breeze do that there. Yeah.
Yep.
You never know, man.
So like I feel like sometimes I can feel it. It just depends on the situation, right? So like I always feel like there's good ghosts and there's bad ghosts. I remember one time I went to Spaghetti Warehouse when we first moved out here to Houston. And it was something about this place. Me and Adrian went there because we love Spaghetti Warehouse. There's one in Dallas that we used to go to all the time. So we found out there was one here. We was like, fuck it, let's go. So when we went, we sat down and we noticed that the energy was just like, man, weird. Like it was a packed house. It was busy. But we was sitting there eating, and I was just like, man, something just don't feel right. Something don't feel right. And I ended up having to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom. The bathroom is upstairs, and there's a whole floor upstairs. Now, mind you, this is on a day when the store is completely busy. It's a lot going on, right? But the first floor had 0 people up there. It was completely empty. And as soon as I got up there, I felt like this cold, like you said, you feel a breeze. Yeah. I felt like that. I felt like this cold chill come over my body. And I went to the bathroom. I came back down, and I told Adrian, I said, man.
Did you wash your hands? Of
course I wash my hands. Who doesn't wash their hands?
That's just making sure people understand we wash hands around here.
Oh yes, I definitely wash my hands. But I was up there and I came back down, and I told Adrian, I said, man, something ain't right about this place. And so we finished our food, and when we left, I just kind of going online. I just went to go see what was going on with Spaghetti Warehouse. Couldn't find out it's like one of the most haunted buildings in Houston because it's actually located. That shit? No, I had to find out on my own, but it's located. So it's actually shut down now because Hurricane Harvey came and fucked all that up downtown. But it's located downtown, and it's in the area where the city of Houston was founded. So like all them what's community people and all that shit going on, it's a weird vibe, and it's so funny because there's another area not far from there that I shoot downtown all the time. And I always hear stories about like all the businesses and stuff and restaurants around there that are like mad haunted in that area.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like, okay, like the energies or whatever. Maybe some of them I didn't felt before was sometimes I wake up out of my sleep, but it feel like I just jump up. But because it felt like I had to push myself up because it felt like I just had weights on me or whatever. Like I just
that sleep paralysis.
Yeah, and all of that shit. I feel like that's evil spirits right there.
Man, I hate that shit. So, yeah, I don't. That's a weird one to explain. Sometimes I feel like it could be a spiritual thing, but then sometimes I'll be like, maybe it's your brain is active, but your body hadn't quite. You know how your body got to catch up.
Yeah.
So when it syncs up, then you'd be like, I can move.
But you did everything in your dream in that one motion.
Well, because it's the weirdest thing. Like whenever you deal with sleep paralysis, like you said, you wake up, but you feel so.
You don't say your name like real clear.
Well, I ain't never heard
that's scary.
If you hear people, okay, you hearing them say your name, you need to call a priest, get some holy water.
Yeah, you need to go get that
pick something up over there. Let's say that's if they call your name, those spirits are mad evil.
Yeah, but they looking directly for you.
But you're right, Crystal. It's like you're awake, but you're not awake, and it's so scary because it's like your eyes open and you can look around, you can see, you can hear, but it's like you can't talk, you can't move, you can't do anything. It's just like you just stuck, and you be and for all I know, it could only last maybe all of 30 seconds, but it feel like fucking 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's like the weirdest fucking shit ever, man. I fucking hate that shit, man. But there was another place I think it's haunted too. Oh, Galveston. Yo, I don't know if you've ever been to Galveston, like super duper late at night, super duper early in the morning. Galveston has a weird presence about it too, but Galveston also got that big ass that old ass graveyard over there. Yeah. Along that main street where the seawall and all that shit is. Mm-hmm. One day, me and Adrian got up mad early to go take pictures of the sunrise at the beach, and we were passing through there. It was just it was just so weird. Like I couldn't even get out my car, man, because it was just like, nah, there's too much going on in Galveston. Not today. But I blame that shit on that major hurricane that happened a long time ago. You know, Galveston had that bad hurricane in like the early 1900s, and it killed like a lot of fucking people there. And I feel like whatever spirits those are, I feel like that's what's inhabiting Galveston right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't mind talking about shit like that. People probably be thinking I'm crazy as fuck, but nah, I think that shit is real. But I saw Marshila said something earlier Oh, she said she met the angel of death. Yo, what was that like? Like, like, were you in an accident? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you get hurt? Did you pass out? Like,
yeah, we need more details on that shit.
we need some details on that because I ain't never heard nobody talk about they met the angel of death.
If I met the angel of death, I'm changing my life completely. I ain't living
you
right.
Better.
I ain't living right. I need to change something.
If you met the angel of death and live to tell the story, you definitely making some changes in your life.
I'm making a lot of changes, bro. I ain't doing nothing.
Man. I don't know, man. I don't know how I'd react in a situation like that. But while I'm waiting on her to respond to that, I was telling you earlier that I watched Set It Off yesterday.
Yeah.
And all right, y'all look. I know that this movie is considered a hood classic, and this and the other, and I give it that. I will give it that because I enjoyed the hell out of that movie whenever we watched it as kids.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, watching that shit in hindsight, in retrospect,
yeah,
that movie is. There's a lot of shit going on in that movie. I just kind of had to question. You know what I'm saying? Fuck. I just had it on my mind not too long ago. It has something to do with the bank robbery scene. It was one of the bank robbery scenes.
Yeah.
So it was the second bank that they robbed. Okay. So there was a homeless guy hanging around in front of the bank, and there was a cop trying to get the guy off the block.
Yeah.
No, let me take that back. Let's go back to the first bank robbery scene. This part made me mad. So you know when the first bank robbery they were successful, but it was still a little rocky for them.
Right.
How in the hell did they not go to jail on that first robbery?
Because the wigs and the glasses.
They had the wigs and the glasses on, but them niggas was putting the shit on in the bank before they walked into the bank.
Yeah, before they walked in, they was in the foyer with putting that shit on.
So you mean to tell me that at that busy ass bank, with all them people in there, they walk up in there with sunshades and fucking wigs, putting the shit on in the middle of the foyer? You mean to tell me that nobody found a suspicion in any of that?
Nah, not at all.
Like at all?
Not at all.
I just felt like that was real kind of dumb. But then the other part, the second bank, like I was telling you about the cop harassing the homeless guy. So as the cop was harassing the homeless guy, two of them already had walked in with the sunshades and wigs. And I'm like, okay, This cop is like literally right here. Why in the hell did he not realize that these motherfuckers got these wigs and sunshades on looking like
he was right there?
That would have raised such a big ass red flag to me, man.
Yeah.
But
and nobody realized that the face was laying on the ground. And when the cop tried to pull his gun, and she was like, don't do it. The scary one. She had the same just shit like on they had. So, I mean, come on. Yeah, man.
I get it, Crystal. But I don't think when they were making the movie that they thought very much into it. They just only did what they thought looked cool. And it's just like, but it, and like I said, as a kid, you really didn't see it. It kind of went over your head. But, you know, watching it as an adult, you kind of like, but why did that happen? Like should they have gone to jail or some shit? But here's the other thing. Cleo was a fucking idiot.
They would have never got caught if it wasn't for Cleo. That motherfucker, she ruined everything.
Yeah. She was an idiot because she left a calling card every time she jacked a car.
Stealing.
She was taking the CDs and throwing it.
She was
throwing the CDs out the window and never had gloves on. So like
she did it every time. So it was her fault they got caught up.
So basically, my whole thought process throughout watching the movie was like, oh, these motherfuckers dumb. They don't know what they're doing. Like they deserve to get. They didn't deserve to get killed, but they kind of deserve to get caught. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Cleo did go out like a G, but she kind of deserved that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Why everybody thinks she went out like a G? Like
she did kind of go out like a G. Like when she
didn't shoot that cop.
Huh?
She didn't shoot nobody.
No, it wasn't so much that she shot the cops, but it was like when she dropped them when the helicopters were chasing them and it was in the tunnel. And
Yeah,
she was like, man, look,
I
y'all
got
get
it.
out.
She already knew she was gonna die, so
She knew she was gonna die. So she was like, fuck it. She just kind of did it. And then she stepped out the car and got off. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed at the way she died. She looked funny when she died.
it
But
was,
like they riddled her ass up with bullets, man. Goodness gracious.
But honestly, did she have to die though? Couldn't she have just pulled out and been like, hey, I give up?
So I can't remember what was that.
Right.
God damn it.
You bet.
Sorry, my bad. For all y'all watching, we keep it real over here. All right, we got shitty
All
internet
the way
around
real,
here. But yeah, nah, she definitely took them bullets like Scarface, and she did go out like a G. But that still does not change the fact that she was probably one of the dumbest people in the movie.
Yeah, she
was. She really was really fucking stupid.
Yeah, because what I was watching another review, and it was like she was probably the only person that didn't have a motive to rob the banks other than just wanting to rob a bank.
She just wanted to. She just wanted to live the life.
Yeah, she just wanted to do it. That she didn't have no other motive. You had Jada, who her brother got killed by the police, and she got tired of fucking what's his face? I'm in a bind.
The sugar daddy.
Yeah. She got tired of being in a bind and getting that advance. And you know what I'm saying? So she was down. You had Vivica, who was like, she got fired from the bank because she knew somebody from the hood. And then you had TT, who, she needed to get her son back. She needed custody of her son, and she wasn't making no money. But Cleo was just like, I'm down. I don't give a fuck. I ain't got nothing else.
Let's just go around. Yeah. Speaking of Jada Pinkett, I ain't gonna lie.
She was tired of hooking.
No, because
she got tired of hooking.
Remember when her brother's like, I didn't get accepted. I ain't going. It ain't for me. And she was like, nigga, do you know what I had to do to get this money? Like, I can imagine if I was her, I'd be like, motherfucker, I'm fixing to pack your motherfucking suitcase.
Yeah, you got to
nigga,
go.
You fixing to go to. You about to go to college, nigga, because you have no idea what I had to do to get this goddamn.
But you know what? Even though he wasn't going to school, she could have kept that check. She earned it.
True enough.
She ripped it in half. You earned that check.
She was dumb for ripping that shit in half. She didn't have to go steal $12,000 at the bank when she had a whole.
That man gave you that advance.
Okay, fuck it. Your brother don't want to go to college. Let's knock out some of these bills.
I can't remember how much he said it was for his tuition or whatever, but whatever it was, she was like, "I got you in, nigga. I got the check." So he looked, not Luther. Nate gave her the money. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, tuition gonna always cost at least a few $1,000s. So
you know what I mean?
She should have been good for at least a couple months on bills, on rent and
she would have been good.
Lights and all that shit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been the reason to go rob the bank. She could have saved up her bread from the cleaning job.
Yeah.
Stacked that up, made sure the bills was paid, and the movie would have never existed.
Would have been fine.
You know what I'm saying? But
she shouldn't have.
Man.
You did all of that shit. You had to lay there and take that man sweating on you like that. You keep that money.
Ugh.
And she doing better than most of these chicks now, because the going rate for cooch right now is $40. So she did real good.
That's true. That's true.
So that's all I'm saying.
That is very much true, man. But it was so funny because when she asked old dude for money, it was like he didn't cut no corners. He didn't sugarcoat it. He was like, "What you gonna do for me?" And then when she said no, that
nigga was like,
he got mad as hell.
That nigga said bye, and he was leaving.
He said, "Peace."
I'm in a bind, Nate. That nigga was like, "I know you are." I know.
Golly.
Yeah, come on back to Nate.
But it was, but what I guess what made it even funnier was that the way he did it was so cringy. It was like scenes like that in movies really don't get to me like that. But that particular scene in this movie, I actually almost felt bad for Jada in that scene, because I was like, man, she really needed that fucking money.
She needed that money, man.
She really needed that money, man.
That money.
that was not good. But back to Marshilla, I see that she said, okay, so she said when she was a kid, her godmother's mom was dying, and she used to see a white angel walk down the hall. And weeks before she died, it turned black, and that motherfucker, oh shit, the motherfucker looked at you. Man, I hope you changed your life after seeing some shit like that.
I know she said she was young. She was like 7 or whatever. I would have been in a mental asylum right now. Like,
that would have, yeah,
that would have fucked me up.
That's like watching the motherfucker going crazy on Final Destination and ain't nobody listening to him.
You know, the movies where the kids they just be sitting there doing this with a crayon and it end up being a whole monster or whatever. That's what I would have been doing all day long.
Like the little boy on Tales from the Hood.
Yeah, the nigga polished up the paper and shit. That shit was so stupid.
That shit was stupid. But dang, man, like the angel turned from white to dark. Like, was it even an angel at that point? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they all were angels. So, but yeah. Why would it go from white to dark though, and then look at you like, kind of fucking message is that?
I know.
Get your shit together.
But you know what's crazy about that angel of death though? Even though that motherfucker look at you and he might miss you, the crazy part about it is that motherfucker gonna look at you one day and be like, "Hey,
it's time.
Let's go, bro."
Yeah, you know what it is.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah. I'm not coming back, nigga. That's what I'm saying. I gave you a chance last time. I ain't coming back.
Oh, so I think what Marshilla is saying is that when the angel passed, it was basically saying, "Hey, I'm coming through," and then it turned dark. Like, okay, now it's time for me to come take this soul.
Yeah,
and when and she said when he looked, so when he looked at her, he was basically saying like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I'm real.
Yeah,
I'm here.
You
just
see
know
me. You know
just
what
know.
It is.
We gonna meet up later. We gonna meet up later.
But don't worry about it.
But you saw me, so let your friends know. Yeah, let your friends know that you saw me.
Yeah, tell everybody who done it, fool.
So, dang, that had to be a hell of an experience, though, man. Like,
yeah, especially at a young age, nigga. I would not have had. I would have pissed everywhere.
But you know what I would like to hear a story from is like people who actually have passed and been revived.
I watch them all the time on YouTube.
Yeah, but like,
and you know what the sad thing about it is?
What?
It mostly be people they talk about it inside the church, right?
Yeah.
Most of the people, they never say they went to heaven. They just tell me they always talk about what hell was like.
Ooh, shit.
They always come back and be like they went to hell.
Dang.
Yeah. I haven't seen one yet that said they went to heaven. All of them went to hell.
I bet they making plans to go now.
You know, that's why they giving out that message. They like, "Hey, nigga, I've been there. You don't want no part of this shit."
Yeah. I remember we used to joke about like heaven and hell a lot at my last job with Joe and them, and we used to talk about it like, okay, but what if hell really ain't that bad? Like, what if somebody telling us is that bad, but then you go there and then he be like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome to hell, man. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be your room right here. You know what I'm saying? I got the waitress here to take care of you. Hey, we about to have dinner at about 5:00. What you eating today? What you drinking?" Like, what if it's like that?
Man, I don't want it to. I don't want to seem like they would be like, "Well, it ain't that bad if we go or not." I don't want to even be a part of that shit.
Like, did you ever used to watch that show? Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell.
How you doing, Michelle? Who?
Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell.
Nah. You
never watched that on Adult Swim?
Nah.
Oh, dude, you've been missing out. Okay, so
all right, let me cue that shit up and put it in my saving in the queue.
So in this show, by the way, it's a live action show. But in this show, hell is actually like a resort. So when people go, now granted, it's still bad, right?
Right.
But when you go, it's like people are wearing polos with the little logo on it, all the little demons and stuff like that. But when you go, you still go get tortured and stuff like that. But it's like everything is on a fucking agenda. So
basically, like you get tortured on a time frame, like you went to work.
Not so much like you went to work, but like, okay, say for instance, like you go on a vacation and you go on a resort, right? and like you have an itinerary. So like, oh, brunch at this time and horseback
Right.
riding at this time. That's what that's what
The
all
torture
the
is like,
punishments
okay,
and torture.
got you.
Yeah,
Got you.
so but it's so funny because nobody's like aggressive, nobody's malicious. Even the devil, he's like the CEO of the company, and
Right.
he's like your
He's
typical
making sure
stressed
everything
out.
runs smoothly. Yeah.
Well, no, he's kind of like your stressed out kind of manager kind of guy, and then
Yeah.
everybody else gives like the good customer service, but it's still like a bad place. It's fucking hilarious, man.
I'm gonna
And
check it out.
it's one demon there who always fucks up, like he never gets it right. So
Yeah. and it's on Adult Swim.
yeah, I don't know if it's still on air, but like if you could catch it on YouTube or something like that,
I looked it up.
man.
It's on YouTube. I'm gonna cue that shit up. It's good.
Woo, Michelle ain't lying there, boy. We already experiencing hell on earth.
Oh, of course, man. We all know that shit, but you know what I'm saying. We got to make it past this hell first.
We gotta make it past this one. I've always said that, man. Like shit, you ain't gotta die to go to hell. Shit, that motherfucker already here.
Yeah, I know,
It
man.
is
Because
already
shit,
here.
man, you live in Texas, boy. You know some heat.
Shit, fuck the heat. I'm just talking about everything. And then on top of that, just I mean, seriously, as time progresses, you see how the world is going.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
the world
everything is changing.
everything is changing in ways that are so weird.
5-year-olds are gonna be the president because we need to listen to kids instead of them listening to us, and they just do what the fuck they want to do.
I don't know. It's just a lot of crazy things going on. I mean, you know, like
everything's going upside down.
Yeah.
Women are becoming more masculine, men getting more feminine. Everything is changing. Everything is going polar opposite.
Well, not even that. I mean, thinking about like the things like the mass shootings, like school shootings and the big genocide, the bombings and all this crazy shit.
White folks.
Like when we were in high school, right? Like when Columbine happened. I mean, and of course, you know, the world is not new to any of this stuff that happened at that time. Stuff's always been going on, but like when Columbine happened,
we're gonna
like
be in Stranger Things. We're gonna be in the upside down place.
Facts. But it was like when Columbine happened, it was something that you know, these sorts of incidents used to be so few far and in between that when we would get news of this kind of stuff, it genuinely came as a shock. When you or like September 11, like all these different things, when all that stuff happened, it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Now it's getting to the point where it's happening so frequently to where it's just like, oh shit, another one. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. So
Crystal, there's gonna be an 11 in the next couple of years. On one of the episodes we talked about the people making your babies in the pods or whatever, and you can give them basically superhuman powers. That's gonna be a whole bunch of 11s walking around after a while.
Oh yeah, build a human. That's definitely gonna be some building humans in the world.
Yeah, because you can customize your kid or whatever, so you can turn them into anything you want. So that's definitely
gonna happen. Michelle. Okay, so Michelle, I'm glad you said that. She said, "Have you heard of the LGBTQ's P? Okay, P stands for pedophile." So
yes, but do you also know that they're trying to use that as a thing that say you can't say pedophile anymore? They're supposed to be called something else. They're trying to lighten up the word. But it's not pedophile. It's something else. So, it's like I can't remember, but it's something else like that.
There is a movement to fight for that because, of course, the message is that you can't help who you love, right? If you ever if you get a chance, look up this organization called NAMBLA, NAMBLA. It is called the National Association of Men and Boys. No, the National something Men and Boys Lovers Association, basically like grown men fucking with little boys. You know what I'm saying? And this is a
whole thing. It's a big thing. It's not nothing that's small. This shit been going around for years.
Yeah, it's been going on, but it's and it's gonna be a fight. And if they continue to fight, I honestly see it as something that will be. It's gonna be a long time from now, but I see something that will go into play because they're gonna keep putting up the fight for it. And you know, and I agree. I do think it's bullshit, Michelle. Like, I feel like there's just certain things. Okay, hey, same-sex marriage, whatever. Transgender life, whatever. That's live your life, do your thing. But when it starts coming around with fucking with these little kids, man, that's
Well,
something
why
completely
do you
different.
think that they grooming the little kids now? And I know people hate hearing that grooming the kids, but that's what they doing because they telling them that this is okay. If you watch any of the parades that they do, queer parades and all of that shit, and see what they're wearing, you got dudes running around in G-strings and dolls hanging out and whatnot, and they got kids, they holding hands with little babies and whatnot, and like taking pictures with them. They wearing the fairies, and because they said it like coincides with like kink or whatever, so like they wear a lot of the kinky shit and uh dominatrix type shit, and they taking pictures with little kids and putting makeup on them and all
Yeah,
that good shit. So they grooming the kids, but this is part of the
yeah,
reason to get them ready for it. And the reason it's gonna pass is because, like you said, they go use the same agenda. You can't help who you love, and the more you have people that come in and like that's in politicians, they are part of that shit too. They go
oh yeah.
eventually pass the bill for themselves, so it's gonna work out for
Well,
them.
but I think that's why they try to do things like the whole bathroom situation, right? Where I guess whatever you identify as, you can go into that certain restroom. And like, okay, well, I don't really care about. Well, actually, I do, because I don't. It's not so much about the gender identity thing in those particular situations. To me, it's more of a safety concern, because I'm not really worried about.
That's
Okay,
it.
if you're a guy who identifies as a woman and you truly feel that way, you feel the need to go to a women's restroom, and like clearly we know that you're not going to go in there and try some funny shit. That's one
How the
thing.
fuck would we know
But
that?
there's a lot of that's my point, is that okay, but there's a lot of guys out here who could try that same excuse but be on some different shit. Now they going into the women's bathroom, and there could be a little girl in there or even a grown woman in there, and they go do the fucking unthinkable.
Dude,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
seen
So
it in
like,
movies. You seen it in movies. What they didn't have plenty of movies where the guy act as if he was gay to get the chick. You know what I'm saying? So they use that shit to get closer to people that they want to be around. So they do it in movies to normalize that shit. Because I mean, what was it? They were firemen or whatever, and they got married,
Chuck
and
and
then this
Larry,
shit. Yeah, they
Chuck
did
and
it in
Larry,
that.
yeah,
They did it in a whole bunch of movies, and I know some niggas in high school that even did that shit because they would
yeah,
always see the gay dudes hanging with the fine chicks, so they would try it and be like, "I'm gonna wait until one day we're alone and just tell I ain't really gay." But I'm like, that's just creepy.
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And you're right, Marshila. If you're a man with a daughter and you can't go in the restroom with it, yeah, you're 100% right. Now I do remember when I was a kid, like our grandmother, like if we were in a public place and if I like, I'm talking really little, like five,
Yeah,
six, whatever, like Crystal said with Darian, okay, that's one thing, because I'm a little kid,
right.
she's my only adult around. She ain't gonna just let me go into the restroom by myself. I remember she would take us into the women's restroom so
Yeah,
we can go pee, right? But when a kid becomes a certain age and they have to go to the restroom and stuff like that, that's that. But like the whole idea of basically saying like, I feel okay, I may look like a man, but I feel like a woman, so I can go use the women's restroom.
right.
That just scares the hell out of me, because I feel like, again, he could say that, but go in there and do something completely different. And that's just my big thing about it. I feel like if you want to do something like that, that's why they have the family public
Restroom,
restrooms,
yeah.
for
But
for those particular
that's still
situations.
new or whatever because I
Yeah.
remember taking the girls to movies and shit, and when they were young, I couldn't bring them in the girls' restroom, so I would have to actually stand in the hallway by the door and hopefully I could see uh, older, trusting black woman that I still probably don't trust 100%, but I'm just kind of like, okay, look, my daughters need to go to the bathroom. Can you please bring them in there or whatever? And now, take them in there, make sure they wash their hands and stuff, and they come back on out. Or I see like another older woman with other little girls themselves and be like, can they go in with y'all? Shit like that. Because I couldn't go in there, and I damn sure wasn't taking them into the men's restroom or whatever. So yeah,
Nah,
it's
hell
fucked
no.
up whenever a father can't do shit for their kids, but some total stranger can just be like, yeah, I can go in there, whatever, because I feel a certain
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So that just kind of goes back to, like I said, the world, it's a weird place, man. And all it's gonna do is just get a little weird as time goes on. So all we can do is just
Yeah,
strap up and see what the ride
Go
gonna
for the
be like.
ride.
I don't even know if I want to say it. I don't want to say enjoy it, but just go for the ride. You know what I'm saying?
Because
So
you're on the ride regardless. It don't matter.
you have no choice but to be on it 100%. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, where we at on time? It's 9:39. Straight up, yeah. Keep for real. Keep that piece on you.
Keep the strap. Get the strap.
Get the strap. Get the strap. But all right, man. Well, I'm gonna go. I think we can go ahead and call it an episode. Man, we had a good tournament. We had some people come up in here, chime in on us, and have the conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Man, we need y'all to keep that energy going, man. We appreciate it. But with that being said, do you have any shout outs?
Excuse me. Of course, shout out to everybody who showed up tonight and wanted to, jump in the conversation. Crystal for sure. Shout out to Miss Sean. Enjoyed last weekend. Everything was cool. Shout out to the kids, man. Cam on spring break, so he home for right now, but he'll be gone either Friday or Sunday. And happy spring break, niggas.
Happy spring break. That's what's up. All right, yeah, definitely shout out to Crystal, man. Crystal always comes through in the clutch whenever it's time to share this stuff, broadcast it, whatever. She's our number one Patreon. She makes sure that we're good on the financial end, as well as just kind of making it public and marketing and stuff like that. So definitely shout out to Crystal. By the way, for all those who don't know, Crystal is our sister. Yes. So she's been pulling a lot of weight with the podcast. So definitely thank you, Crystal, for sure. Also, shout out to United Studios of Self-Defense. I actually did a photo shoot with them about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We did some pictures at the karate school there, and we had a pretty decent turnout with all the kids that came up to take pictures. So, man, shout out to them. We definitely appreciate it. We're still trying to reach out to more martial arts schools in the Houston area to try to, make some things shake a little bit and provide a service that's seen in other sports and not so much in martial arts. So we definitely doing that there. I think that's pretty much all I got on the shout outs. If you are watching this podcast and you have enjoyed this podcast, man, especially on YouTube, be sure that y'all go hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the comments, jump in on the conversation.
That shit free.
It's free. And it don't take nothing but a second of your time. That's it. Just a second of your time. Nothing. But we like jumping in and having the conversations, because again, the premise of the podcast is a conversation about nothing, because the conversation is about everything. And we don't always have to talk about politics, money, and all these other things. We can just talk about
and if you got beef, we can beef it out in the comments. What's happening?
Beef it out in the comments. We don't always have to agree on every goddamn thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So let's do that. But yeah, y'all definitely be sure to subscribe. Merchandise link is still under construction. We gonna get it together. We've been kind of, both of us have been very busy, so we haven't really been on track like we need to be, but just bear with us.
Hey man, we got lives like everybody else, bro.
We got lives like everybody else, so we trying to make it happen. But I think that is just about it.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well, with that being said, man, we will catch y'all next time, and until then, peace.